All right, let's get into it. Hello everyone, welcome to this new video. I'm going to be starting off by apologizing for the quality of the webcam. Josh did steal the camera from me, so this is what we're going to have to deal with. But regardless, I've been working quite hard on this video for quite some time, and I'm very excited to share it with you because it's going to provide all of you with a huge amount of value that you can take action on today, straight away. So essentially today we're going to be doing a case study from grassroots to first division football in just one summer without any connections or open trials. A success story by myself, Nathan, and Josh from JNM Football. If you want a real and a realistic guide to improving as a footballer and finding trials, this will be the most useful video you'll ever see. Also, on the other hand, if you're feeling stuck with repetitive and boring training and you're trying to make connections without any luck, then this case study will provide you with real solutions and will give you the recipe to your success. To those who don't know me, my name is Nathan Miles. I am one of the co-founders and the coaches here at JNM Football. And in this training video, I'm going to be breaking down step by step how we got this player, who is a grassroots player from his local club, to a successful trial at the first division. Before we start, just a small warning and notice. Put away your phone, close all other tabs, get out a piece of paper and devote the entirety of your concentration to this simple case study breakdown. I will teach you exactly how to go from zero to hero, and you will be able to get very quick results and destroy your competition through this exact framework. So before I continue, let me prove that this actually happened and that this entire story isn't a lie. So here's a screenshot of the message confirming the trial and whatnot at the club, just in case you didn't take my word for it. So anyway, let's progress. First of all, let's discuss who this is for, who this framework for, who this method is for. This is for you if you're a footballer who wants to achieve their goal of reaching a better club in less than 3 months. And if you're interested in learning how to develop as a footballer with efficiency and never have to rely on the boring dribble around the cones drills again. If you want to learn how to network in football and to find trials in the location of your choice. If you want a platform where you'll be desired by clubs, agents and scouts and not the other way around. If you really want to become a professional footballer. If you aren't satisfied with your current level of football, meaning both the quality of yourself as a player and the league you play at. If you're scared of not fulfilling your potential and always wondering, what if? If you're skeptical of these Instagram masters who promise you that you can go pro from doing some talcos. And lastly, if you feel like you're missing out on the lifestyle you deserve as a successful footballer. If any or all of these relate to you, then this is 100% for you. So what this video is not about. It's not about finding open trials that cost money. It's not about following the traditional method of working out and training. It's not about only focusing on the long term because we want short-term results and we want to see results instantly, right? That's the goal here. And it's not about using shady techniques to get results like paying for someone or bribing someone to make your name big within the world of football. So the truth, you can 100% make your way up the football ladder 10 times faster than you thought without having any current connections or having to spend money on open trials. However, most non-professional footballers do not understand, number one, how to actually train, work out and eat for results that will relate on the pitch. And number two, build connections that can help you find the right opportunity. Nor do they understand how the world of football actually works in general, but as you're here, that means you're in the right place and you're about to be 100 times further ahead in your journey than 99.5% of your entire competition. To start, these are some limiting beliefs that you need to forget and just get rid of completely. We hear all the time people say there's too many footballers out there to succeed, and that's just not true. You have to realize that competition means that there's a need for that certain thing. This isn't just in football, this is in all aspects in life, right? If there's competition, that means there's opportunities. And if you just take a second to sit back and think about the current state of football, how many countries are out there in the world, how many cities, how many leagues are in those cities, how many teams per league, that's an infinite amount of opportunities. And at the end of the day, you only need one. So today we're going to teach you how to use your competition to your benefit, how to find the right people to connect with, how we got this player a trial so fast that he had to get permission from his home club one night before the trial that they'd actually allow him to go on this professional trial. And finally, how we managed to persuade a first division academy to give an amateur player a chance, with the trial. All right, where are we here? So before I begin, a little background as to why I actually do this, who I am, and how it all started. It all began when I started getting injury after injury, not knowing what I was doing wrong and not knowing what caused all these injuries. I just simply couldn't get fit. I got injured, I returned, I got injured, and that was my life for a couple of years. But this sparked my motivation to dig deeper into football development and anatomy to gain a better understanding of what actually needed to be changed in order for me to not only become healthy, become a better player, right? So after years and thousands of pounds of educational investment and thorough experimentation, I finally saw some results within my own game. I was finally injury-free, I was the fittest in my team by far, and I was performing the best as well. But my teammates started noticing this and they started asking questions. Questions like, what are you doing outside of training to get like this? And how are you able to run this much? This is what kicked it all off, basically. This is what started for me. So I started helping my teammates with this as well. And as you can imagine, they started improving too. They started getting fitter, becoming injury-free, and what's most important is they started performing at a better level. And by this point in my career, I had already played for quite a few different amount of teams in multiple countries as well. So did Josh. So we already had a strong knowledge and experience with networking, and we understood how to actually find opportunities in football. For this, we ended up helping some of our teammates and friends with this side of the game as well, helping them find better teams. Fast forward to today, where we've worked with over 6,000 footballers on a one-to-one basis, helping them rapidly reach their goals. And that's exactly what we're here to discuss today. Now, I'm breaking the whole process down from A to Z of how we got this player from grassroots to Division 1 without overworking, spending more than 5 minutes a day networking, or having to spend a penny on these open trials that we hear so much about. So to begin, where everyone goes wrong, there's going to be 4 parts to this, I believe, and part 1 is the gym. So every footballer wants to look good, not knowing that doesn't always transition into good performances. Not enough players work out for performance. So how many times, or you probably even do it yourself, but how many times do I see a footballer head into the gym and just work out like a bodybuilder wannabe, right? Because saying bodybuilder alone is not giving bodybuilders enough credit, and it's giving footballers too much credit, because you're not working out like an efficient bodybuilder, you're working out like a bodybuilder wannabe, and that does not relate to match performance. If anything, it may end up in you feeling a bit slower, and I'm not going to say over strong, because that is a little bit of a silly statement, but regardless, what you need to do instead of trying to work out for big biceps is relate what you do on a pitch, on a match, to what you do in a gym. If you cannot replicate the movements you do on the pitch into the gym, then you're doing it wrong, right? So think about the movements you do, think about what muscles and what areas of the body are being used on a pitch. So you do a lot of direction change, you do a lot of short, sharp movements, direction and change of speed. So those things can be implemented in the gym. And ultimately, if you're not doing things in the gym that can improve you directly on the pitch, then you're just wasting your time. Now, it's not all about power of movements, speed, absolutely killing your body until you feel absolutely amazing on the pitch. There are other aspects to gym as well for footballers. Recovery is an absolute massive thing, and the gym in general is a huge asset for your recovery. So you have to do a lot of recovery sessions, and the gym is required for a good recovery session, right? It's not the only thing required. You can do recovery sessions outside of the gym, but a good gym recovery session will be absolutely huge for your longevity and overall success as a footballer. Another thing, which is very similar to recovery, is injury prevention. That isn't always intense either, but it must be done in order to save your body, because as a footballer, your body goes through so much stress, so much pain, so much agony just through kicking a ball. And imagine how many times you do that throughout the entirety of a season. So again, recovery cannot be neglected. Recovery goes way past the gym. It's not just the gym work, right? So your recovery must be focused on and off the pitch as well, which I'm going to discuss later as well. So part 2 as to where players go wrong is nutrition. Reminder, you're a footballer. What do I mean by this? So you must fuel up efficiently for your workload. If you're not doing that, then you're not going to perform. It's as basic as that. So one thing I see so much in this space is players asking me about a specific diet type, like keto, like vegan, like fasting for 12 hours, stuff like that. And the reason they ask that is because they're usually skinny fat, or they believe they're skinny fat. So they want to lean down a bit, become fitter, look better, and overall just lose that extra bit of fat that they've got. And they come to believe that these special types of diets help them lose fat because that's what's preached by a lot of these special gurus and whatnot. Now, let me tell you, the reason that those diet types work for fat loss is because you're taking something huge out of your diet, right? If you go on a meat-only diet, you're going to take out all of your carbohydrates and a majority of your minerals and whatnot. So removing all of the carbohydrates, a lot of people argue the fact that if you remove, let's just say, carbohydrates from your diet, you're going to replace all those calories with meat, but that's not usually the case. Let's say you remove 1,000 calories of carbs a day, and you probably do eat more meat, but I'm going to take a wild guess and say it's not 1,000 calories worth. So that's how people lose weight. Same for fasting. Let's say you skip breakfast, so you're skipping a 1,000 calorie meal. You might have an extra 250, 300 calories at lunch and dinner, but that's still less than that 1,000 calories. And it's the same thing for keto, and it's the same thing for vegan, and it's the same thing for literally all of these diet types. The reason they do work and help players or people in general lose weight is because you're cutting something massive out of your diet. So what you need to do instead is find a healthy balance between foods that you enjoy and foods that fuel you, right? What's life without, a chocolate donut every other week? What's life without a pizza after a match, right? We're not robots, and life is way too short to try and perfect your diet. It's boring. It's not a worth that I'd like living, and I'm pretty sure you'd agree as well. So these horrible diets, man, of keto or vegan. I mean, if you're a vegan for specific reasons, fine. But if you're a footballer going for a balance between performance and enjoying your overall life, then balance is what is so important. If 80% of your diet is good, then 20% of your diet doesn't have to be perfect, right? So a cheeky chocolate bar is absolutely fine here and there. Can of Diet Coke is absolutely fine here and there. Relating to actual performance itself, just a small little tip and something that we implement with all of our players is use food to fuel up your training sessions, right? Carbohydrates is absolutely huge because it's one of the main sources for football training, right? Because intense cardio and intense work usually uses carbohydrates, right? Pretty basic. So make sure you get a good source of carbohydrates with every meal if you can. So think oats, think potatoes, think rice, think pasta, think bread. They're all good sources of protein that will fuel up your sessions. That's why a lot of players use bananas before training sessions and matches, just because it's a very, very quick source of simple carbohydrates that gives you a quick, short, sharp boost of energy, right? So for a general rule of thumb, something we do for every single meal that we give our players, and something that you should aim for every single time you sit down to eat, is with every meal you have, try to get a clean source of protein, a clean source of carbohydrates, and either minerals or vitamins. So let me break that down. The carbohydrates, think chicken breast, think lean beef, think beans, stuff like that. Carbohydrates, I've already mentioned that, potatoes, rice, pasta, stuff like that. And minerals or vegetables, that can either be fruits or vegetables. So let me give you a couple meal examples. The very classic chicken breast, rice and broccoli. Obviously, we're not going to have that 3 times a day like some of the bodybuilders, but if you have the right herbs and sauces, you can make it nice. Let me give you another one here. So lean beef burgers with sweet potato and asparagus. Banging meal, very healthy. An amazing balance between all the 3 main components, like I said. Let's go for a breakfast now. Oats with some protein powder and some berries. Again, a source of all the things I've mentioned. So that's pretty much all I want to say about this to you today. Let's move on to where everyone goes wrong regarding recovery. So a lot of people just simply neglect recovery, and recovery is one of the biggest factors to your overall success as a footballer. famous quote that we hear from players all the time: I'm going to get up at 4 a.m. to get an early session. Okay, bro, you do that whilst we'll retire, whilst we prioritize recovery so we can make sure all of our sessions are of a high standard and quality. Recovery is absolutely crucial. If you're not getting in 8 hours of sleep every night, of quality deep sleep, then you're missing out, right? Big time. If you overwork yourself every single session, tomorrow is going to be tough. Tomorrow is going to not only be tough, but more importantly, it's going to lack a quality in and focus in the session. So make sure you do prioritize your recovery through nutrition, through workouts, through sleep. They're the three biggest components, in our humble opinion, on recovery. Nutrition, if you followed everything I discussed in part 2 of nutrition, then your recovery will be absolutely fine. If you get at least 8 hours of sleep every night, then your recovery will be fine. And if you do recovery sessions, you will do absolutely fine, right? Let me give you a very basic recovery session. And it's pretty much the recovery session we give all of our players as well. So in the gym, static bicycle at a light intensity for 10 to 20 minutes. Then you want to do some light leg exercises. You're probably thinking to yourself, what on earth are you on about? Just use a bit of common sense. Leg exercises increases blood flow in the legs, which will increase and aid and speed up recovery. So nothing too intense. I'm not saying squat 100 kilos. Some light leg work, some bodyweight leg work is fine. Some band work is very, very good. Then you can do some dynamic stretches, some static stretches, a yoga session, foam roll, and that is your perfect recovery session, right? Very basic, nothing difficult at all. Part 4 of where everyone goes wrong, and that is training. Goes to train, does free kicks 25 minutes, and then goes home. I don't need to say too much about that, right? It's not efficient. The biggest mistake about training that I see so many players make, and it's actually very similar to the gym workouts as well, is that the training itself is not related to what you do on match day. So if you're not practicing what you do on a match training, then how can you actually improve come match day? How can your performances get better? Well, they can't. So you have to take a think about what it is you do on a match, what type of style you play, what position you play, what sort of tactics your manager plays, and what kind of scenarios and situations could you find yourself in a match that you could actually replicate in training. Let's just say, for example, you're a fullback. All right, let's rewind a bit. Training sessions, individual training sessions, the only thing you can really focus on is the fundamental technical skills. But if you can add in match realistic movements and situations as well, you're going to do very, very well. So let's go back to that point. If you're a fullback, one of the main segments of your training session should be the fundamental technical skills. So the passing, your first touch, dribbling, bit of shooting, but we'll talk about it in a bit as well. And to relate it to a match, what would you do as a fullback, right? You'd probably receive the ball from your centre back, so take a back foot touch forward, a dribble, maybe a cutback and a pass, a sprint, a skill, a cross, stuff like that. So what are you doing on a match day, and how can you make it as match realistic as possible? So again, this is what we implement with all of our players, and it's definitely something that should be of your highest focus. So now we've covered what players don't do well. Let's talk about the JNM online program blueprint for unleashing your potential. Part 1, self-assessment. You must know where you are in order to know where you're going, and more importantly, how to get there. As we do with all of our clients, we made this player go through a current self-assessment so we, and more importantly, he would have more clarity on his current situation as a football player. Once you know where you are, you can start planning your journey to actually reaching your goals. Now, luckily enough for us, this specific player was actually in a good place when he started with us. He was playing well and he had a really, really good mindset, which was absolutely crucial. But most players don't even know their current state. So most players on the left, it's going to say what most players do, and on the right, it's going to say what that specific thing leads to result-wise. So most players don't know where they're at as a player currently, and that leads to them guessing what they need to do, which leads to unproductive methods of training. Next, they don't set an actionable to-do list of a plan for success, meaning they never actually do the tasks that will help them. Lastly, they have a wing it attitude and do whatever they feel like on any given day, which again leads to no productivity, not any level of real progress over time. Now, what we implemented is we made sure the player is fully aware of their current state and situation, which means they know exactly what they need to do in order to get their desired results. Next, they have a plan in place on what needs to be done daily, weekly, and monthly. So they're always aware of what needs to be done, and they have the systems in place to actually track their progress. And lastly, every session is planned and strategized for success, meaning every session actually improves the player, and we're not doing any guesswork here. So before we even started creating his training, workout, and nutrition programs, we had a full understanding of where he was currently, where he wants to be in 3 months' time, and what needs to be done in order for that goal to be reached. This way, we were able to create him a specific regime that could only guarantee him results, right? There's no other choice. So, where are we? Yeah, we're here. So before JNM, going to networking and what team he wanted to join, he told us that he wanted to find a team anywhere. Location didn't really matter to him. He was just really open-minded. But because of that, it was very difficult for him to implement a specific and efficient plan in place. So after we had a conversation and did some discovery work about his current situation and his goals, we figured that the best method would be to find him an academy with 30-kilometer radius. Just because he was still in education and living at home, it would be better for him to progress his career nearer to home. And for that reason, we'd try and find him an academy with a 30-kilometer radius, ideally at the under 18 level, but which was a non-negotiable, was that this specific club would have a direct path into a first team setup. Because if you find a new club now at the under 18 level, but they don't have a first team, or they don't have a good pathway to the first team, you're going to be there for a year and then you're going to have to find a new team. So these were our three crucial things when it came to networking for this player. So already within 1 week of him joining the program, we had a clear understanding of how he needed to train to reach his goals technically and tactically, how he needed to work out in the gym to reach his desired level of athleticism and fitness, but not only his desired level, the necessary level, right? Next, what and when he needed to eat to always be efficiently fueled for all of the workload, how much and what type of recovery was required so he avoided injury and always stayed fresh and fit for all of the sessions, and exactly where we needed to network for him to find opportunities. And we knew all of this because we took the time to understand his current situation and goals, and because of that, it made everything 10 times easier. So because of this, there was no guesswork, no trial and error, no second guessing, and no stress, nor for us, nor for him. But there was only one issue. This player wasn't just a footballer, he was only a student. Well, this wasn't an issue for us, but it might be for you, and it definitely was for him before he joined us. And these same issues take place if you work alongside football. So before JNM, he often felt like he had time-related stresses of playing football and being a student at the same time, which led to him often missing trainings. But when he did go to training, his mind was never actually fully there focused. Next, he didn't know when the best times to train were, which means he lacked any real level of productivity. And lastly, he had a small amount of free time, which meant he couldn't work. He didn't have enough time to work on his game to actually improve. Now, after JNM and implementing what we do is we implemented an efficient daily accountability actionable plan, of tasks to do, which means he never missed any form of training. That's on the pitch, in the gym. He had a better understanding of time management. So all of his sessions were done with 10 times more productivity. And lastly, he learned how to be more efficient with his time, so he was actually able to enjoy more of his free time. So he wasn't stressed of overworking, of burning out, none of that at all. So building the program. When he joined, we had two things to solve. First of all, we needed to implement a strategy to get more out of his limited time. And then we needed to find him an opportunity. So to start time management strategy, this was honestly stupidly simple. If you can't do this, then you need to look yourself in the mirror. We created him a to-do list of all the things he needed to do that day in order of importance. And if you do this every day and you still struggle to do the task you know you need to do, then you're simply just not cut out for this life, right? This is the most easiest time management hacks that I've ever implemented. Some players, it's very, very complicated and you have to do all sorts of things. But for this player, we implemented this and it worked to a T, literally perfect. Second of all, finding the opportunity. We had no issues with this one because as you imagined, we just implemented our tested and proven method, which we use to find all of our clients' opportunities all over the world. A couple of things to note. After implementing these strategies, he was doing more than 2 times the amount of training, which is irrelevant because most players don't train smart. So quantity isn't that important. Quality is more important. But for this player, it was relevant because he was using our training methods. His trainings were now 10 times smarter and more efficient, which actually led to performances being much better on match day. He was enjoying a much healthier diet without eating chicken, rice and broccoli twice a day, like I mentioned earlier. His gym sessions no longer looked like he was an average wannabe bodybuilder, all whilst we were handling everything off the pitch behind the scenes, like the networking and the player CV and stuff like that, which I will go into more details soon. So speaking of trials, here's the trial formula. Player CV, a good highlights reel, a good networking strategy equals a trial secured. So a player CV or resume, depending on where you're from, is absolutely crucial. Very, very easy to make. And, we had no issues with this. Good highlights was real. So he had great clips. Actually, we were very lucky. But there have been some players who didn't have as good clips. But again, all it takes is some editing, compiling the best clips, and you will come across as a very good player. And as well, the networking strategy. So that's all that was needed in order to find this player an opportunity. So part 2 of our blueprint for unleashing your potential: training and working hard is fine. But if you're not tracking progress, you're probably not progressing, which is exactly why we had weekly check-in system and a specific set of questions to determine whether a player is progressing to the rate we expect or not. And if a player is not fulfilling expectation, we diagnose what changes need to be made. One of the most important questions we asked during this check-in is there anything you did this week that you could not do last week? If yes, what is it and how has it helped you? This can literally be anything. Like literally anything. Some examples: I did 5 more keepy-ups, or I called for the ball more in training, or I did a really good cross in my weak foot, I scored a free kick, I got an assist, I spoke in the changing room, I shook my coach's hand and looked in his eyes because I was confident, right? I met someone new and I introduced myself, said my name first. Tiny things, tiny little wins, tiny things that you could do this week that you couldn't do last week. That's how you progress, and that's how you develop both on and off the pitch, both technically, physically, and mentally. And by asking our clients this question every single week, I just see their little eyes spark up to when they actually notice and acknowledge how much they've progressed in such a short period of time. It's honestly incredible, and I love it. Probably one of the best things of our program. Anyway, part 3 of the blueprint, finding a trial. So most players find emails from just websites, meaning they don't get responses, as these emails don't even get looked at. So basically, the emails I mean is like info@chelsea.com. Those sorts of emails, they're crap. You know that already. A lot of players message teams on social medias, but they don't get responses because that's not what a team's social media is for. And lastly, they use a spray and pray technique. In other words, they just contact random teams with no real method, of no tracking method, of nothing like that. So they can't remember who they've contacted. They never track who they've contacted or who needs to be contacting next. And they forget who's who. They forget who's responded. If they've messaged someone with a name, they don't know what team they're a coach at anymore and stuff like that. So what we do is we research and find the right person from a specific club to contact. And that means we're in direct contact to the right person from a specific club. We use LinkedIn 75% of the time, which is a professional platform to connect with the right people within football. And lastly, we had a method and tracking strategy for who to contact and when. So us and the player always knew when to contact someone, who to contact, who's responded, what part of the process we're at, and literally everything else. So it's all tracked and progressed efficiently. And to repeat myself, because we did the necessary task beforehand, we already knew the exact type of person we were going to contact, and this made our job extremely easy. The whole process is stupidly easy. And as we imagined, a bit of a typo there, as we imagined, we got a response from one of the first 5 people we just sent a message to. So there's no messaging 1,000 people. It was no guessing where people were. It was no sending really long emails. Simple short message to 5 people. One of them got a response straight away. So incredible stuff there. We then got on the phone with this specific person who replied. We had a conversation about the player, and he was sold from his player CV, his highlights reel, and of course I vouched for him. So how could he say no? Anyway, this player was invited for a trial where he did perform well, and he was invited to join the team for a full pre-season. Reminder, this player was playing for a local team, amateur level, and this academy is playing at the 1st division. So, speaks for itself. And this is the exact same blueprint we've used for the likes of Kenna, who went from only amateur experience his whole life to a semi-professional contract, and the same method that allowed Albin to have the luxury of choosing from 3 club offers, and the thousands of other players who've decided they're finally bored of average results as well. So just to summarize, all you need to do is identify your current situation as a player to understand where you are right now, where you want to go. understand your struggles and why those struggles are actually taking place in your life, diagnose what you need to do in order to get over the struggles and find success, manage your time more efficiently so you're never overworked or you don't take action, implement a training system and method that directly relates to improvements on the pitch on match day, work out, eat, and recover like a professional athlete and no one else. Nothing else I wrote there. Set an in-depth and actionable step-by-step plan for networking. Set up a daily, weekly, monthly task list so you're always on top of everything you need to do. Implement a progression tracking system to make sure you're improving better than your competition. Take action, rinse, and repeat. If you do this, the worst case scenario, let me repeat, the worst case scenario is that you will become 10 times better than you are right now, and you will find an opportunity at a better level within 90 days. And that's a guarantee. It's so easy if you just follow these simple guides. So what's next anyway? You do have a few options right now. Option 1 is you continue to do what you've done until this point and hope that something changes. You can do this until you either run out of motivation or you just simply try something new. Option 2, you can copy exactly what I've said today in this video word for word and guarantee results. Sorry, let me repeat that. You can copy exactly what I said today in this video word for word on your own and guarantee results, but it might take a little longer and the success of those results may vary. There are countless of things I couldn't go over in this video, obviously, just so it wasn't longer than 10 hours. So you'd obviously have to figure out those other smaller details on your own. Or third, you can work with us directly, follow our guidance step by step and unleash your potential in 12 weeks. Now this option is for you only if you're a motivated footballer bored of average results, you've tried multiple things now and you haven't found real success that you desire, and you have a gut feeling that you're destined for more than average. And here's how we're going to unleash your potential in the next 12 weeks. We're going to identify your situation. Upon joining, you'll have a 1 hour call with me personally to discuss everything about your football career so far, what's gone wrong, what's gone well, and what we need to implement in order to actually reach success. Build your strategy. We'll plan, design, and develop your own customized strategy to become the player you can become, aka unleashing your potential. Through a customized training, workout, nutrition, and mindset program regime, you will unlock your potential. Develop your progression tracker. You will no longer need to rely on guessing whether you're actually getting better or not. We'll develop a plan to track your rate of progression with a real level of efficiency. Build a killer portfolio. Like I mentioned a bit, we'll personally build out your player CV or resume and highlights reel so you have the portfolio that will guarantee you results when it comes to networking and finding opportunities. A football trial. You'll gain access to an unlimited and exclusive worldwide networking system that's broken up into 2 segments. Segment 1, we will personally teach you how to network so you can find opportunities with success in any field of life. So it's not just football related. The knowledge of knowing how to network is absolutely crucial in any aspect of life. So it's very, very beneficial that we do teach players this. Segment 2, we'll network on your behalf to clubs and or agents in the specific location and level of your choice using both our networking techniques and the already huge level of connections we've got. Find your bulletproof mindset. Through your custom mindset training program, we'll teach you how to find your bulletproof mindset, which you already have. We just need to find and unleash it. It's in there somewhere, trust me. Always on top, you'll have a weekly one-on-one call with us personally to discuss progress, what's next for you, and everything else necessary at any given time. What will you experience? Our own Slack server, which is like an app like WhatsApp, where you'll have direct access to us and a network of like-minded footballers to whom you can connect and converse with at any time. You'll have access to our worksheet, which tells you exactly what task you need to do and when you need to do it to make sure you progress efficiently throughout our program. You'll have a dedicated success manager and coach who will often perform check-ins to keep you motivated and accountable. In other words, we literally will not let you fail, right? So it's just impossible to fail, honestly. To repeat myself, the goal is for you to unleash your potential within 12 weeks. And if you do not fulfill that goal, you'll continue to work with us for completely free until you do. So if you're bored of not succeeding on your own, if you're stressed and bored of trying to figure out everything, or let me repeat again. If you're stressed and bored of trying out everything for it simply not to work, and you're bored of average results, you can book a call with us personally to discuss if you're a good fit for our program or not. And it's the first link in the description of this video. If you feel like you're still on the borderlines here and you're not 100% sure, here's a few testimonials from some of our clients in the past.
Hello, JNM crew. Hope all is well. I just wanted to give a quick insight into my journey with JNM so far. So before joining JNM, really, the thing that I struggled most with was understanding networking because before JNM, I really didn't know how to network. So and find opportunities and build connections in the world of football. So they really helped me with. They help me with finding who to contact, um, how to contact people, the techniques they have, and things like that help with networking. And really, what I'm enjoying most in this program is um, the set programs that they give you. I really enjoy those. I feel like it's really tailored to my needs specifically, and I think it's really important that you have your own specific programs to yourself because not everything works for others. And I would recommend it to basically any aspiring athlete because I feel as though if you want to take your game to the next level, it really is something that can help you in all aspects of the game. And yeah.
Hey, how's it going? Eric here, just here to drop a review on JNM Football. We've been here for about a month now, and honestly, I find it great. It's put me back on track. I feel like just before I joined and signed up, I was a little bit lacking the discipline and someone kind of pushing you further, you know what I mean? Yeah, it's been good. I've had a good chat with Nathan, one of the co-founders of JNM. He's the one looking after me anyway. Great chat with him. He customized my programs, my diets, workouts, all that sort of stuff. Sorted me out. I told him what I would prefer to work on rather than just going in a general basis. Had really good feedback with him. Didn't take him too long to respond and fix everything. It was literally done within a day, and then it's all up to me pretty much. So I'll definitely give JNM a 5-star review, as I feel like whatever you put into this, you're gonna get out. So if you're serious, I suggest you join up.
Hey guys, Meet here, and I just wanted to say this is a review about my journey with the JNM Football Agency so far, and to say that I'm more than happy with the things they've done, and hopefully we'll able to do much better things in the future. And just to give you a quick review, guys, so basically I'm an Indian footballer here in Paris who is here to study sports management and to advance my football career here in Europe. So basically, the thing is, I started my journey with the JNM about 3 months back, and yeah, it's been absolutely great. I have been provided with a lot of great development plan regarding my football and my career. So I've been provided with a good nutrition plan, a good gym workout plan, a networking system that we have access to, and like it has a very good amount of transparency. Also, like one of the key points that I would like to say is that there was a time when there were riots here in Paris a few weeks back, and I requested JNM to give me a home workout because I wasn't able to go to the gym, and like they provided to me instantly. So like I'm very grateful to them for that, and yeah, it's been really great working with them so far. Also, like they have provided me a vegetarian nutrition, a vegan option, and like alternatives to like for my nutrition. And yeah, they're also looking for clubs, and they were also able to explain it to me, like what level I should be looking at, how I should begin, and how they are working behind the scenes. So yeah, a big cheer up, guys, and hopefully we can do a lot of great things in the future. And yeah, hopefully I will be the next success story from GNM. Ciao, meet out.
Hello, my name is Joel Rebecca, and I want to talk about the experience with the JNM football. It's helping me a lot, so can complain. The programs are amazing. They're helping me a lot. I just finished one just now, so yeah. I'm just joined 2 months ago and feeling better each week with the programs. They're amazing, and I was struggling with consistency before, but now it's pretty easy to go and train, get up in the morning to go and train, do all that stuff. So yeah, I'm pretty grateful and I'm looking forward to more. And yeah, thank you.
And that will wrap up this case study. So I will see you very soon on a phone call. Until then, have a great day.